G.I. Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. And the votes have been tabulated. Everything is in. There is no recount. This is not a witch hunt or a scam vote or a bad vote or whatever. And I'm not going to attack my own house to check out to see if this vote is real. The vote has come in, and the action pilot was the winner. My brother even voted on this one, so thank you very much, George, for voting. I really appreciate that. This is a callback to the original action pilot that was released in the 1970s. As a part of the G.I. Joe line, later Action Man, because he started losing popularity during the Vietnam War, so they changed it to Action Man. And rightfully so. People were just tired of war, and they really didn't want their kids playing with anything military. So, understandable. That was not a popular war at all, but we're not here to talk about history. But this is going to be a very special review because we are reviewing two action figures today at the same time. There was one gentleman that cast in his lot for the 1984 Mutt and Junkyard version 1. And I thought, why the heck not? Let's go ahead and do something different for once. So I pulled these guys out and let's go ahead and take a look at them. Very cool action figures. I've always enjoyed Mutt and Junkyard. They were together quite a bit in the Sunbow animated series. They were in the comic books. And somewhat popular action figures. I always liked the figures that came with an animal companion, because really you got two toys in one. And you guys know how I feel about that when I talked about Scrap Iron, because you got Scrap Iron and his missile launcher. So that was two toys in one. Another one which I thought was pretty cool was the 1989 what's his name, Stalker. He came with a kayak, so you got a figure with a vehicle. The Sky Patrol, you got an action figure with a parachute. Then you had I forget what they call them, that came out in the 90s, the action the Joes that came with a glider. So you got another vehicle with an action figure at an action figure price, although those with the gliders were just a few dollars more. So it was nice that they did that, and it made it a little more affordable for kids who didn't have a lot of money to be able to afford something really cool, to be able to afford a vehicle, to get an action figure and a vehicle at the same time. So those I always appreciated. So hold on one second here. With the old whistle here. It was 113 degrees the other day. And summer isn't even here yet. It's not even July. Last year was the hottest summer on record. It was so hot, cactus, I believe it or not, cactus were dying. It was so hot. The water inside of them was boiling and killing the cactus. We lost a lot of saguaro cactus, which is which are endangered, and it's our state cactus. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about these action figures. The action pilot came out in the mid 1960s. I don't have my tablet ready. I was having some problems getting it to boot up. I had to take it over to AT&T and have them take a look at it. So the action pilot came out in the mid 90s when they were doing the anniversary action figures, and you could buy a box of them, a complete set, which I did have at one point, and idiot me, I left it behind. When I in a divorce, I left it at the house. I just wanted to get the heck out of there. I forgot to check in the shed, or no, it was underneath the bed, and I forgot to check under there. The bedroom was the last place I wanted to look for anything. I just wanted to get my clothes and get the heck out of there. But anyway, so I lost that complete set, or you could buy these guys individually. So this is what I am. Sorry, I got distracted. So I'm going to review the action pilot who was a part of the anniversary specials, and he is pretty cool. I'm happy you guys selected him as a review, and let's go ahead and take a look at Mutt, the Junkyard, and the action pilot. Here we go. All right, so here we are, Mutt, Junkyard, and the action pilot. Let's go ahead and lower the camera just a little bit more so we can take a look at Mutt and Junkyard. Taking a look at Junkyard first. I want to turn the flash on here. There, that's better. He is a Rottweiler. This is the same Junkyard that was used with the Slaughter's Marauders Mutt and Junkyard. Very cool set here. He came with a rubber leash that had a studded collar around it. When I had my Marauders Mutt and Junkyard out, no, it didn't have a studded collar, I'm sorry, it just had a standard collar. I was thinking of Law and Order. He just had a standard collar with a leash, so I should have taken that one off, so I apologize for this not being complete. But you could tell, nice black Rottweiler, not a whole lot of detail to him, but we did play with him quite a bit, and he had a pretty good personality in the cartoon. He almost acted human. Another accessory that came with Mutt was his nightstick. As you can see, there's a rope or a cord wrapped around it, and this goes through his wrist. His hand goes through the loop, and he could hold on to his nightstick, because he is a military policeman. And let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, crud. No, bugger. The O-ring broke. Okay, but these things happen. I am sorry, guys. Let's take a look at his other accessory. He came with an Uzi. Very popular. Uzis were real popular back in the 1980s, the Israeli Uzi. And this came with a silencer. Not too bad detail on that one. He also, which I think is funny, he came with a muzzle. Yes, you know, Mutt and Junkyard, his name was Mutt, the dog's name was Junkyard. So they gave a muzzle to the Joe. We use this as a gas mask. This is made up of a soft rubberized plastic, but it is a muzzle, kind of a, you know, is indicating that he is a tough and a tough guy. He also came with a black helmet. He has a pair of goggles that are sculpted right on top, and you can see that the strap goes around. This little cover right here actually goes around to cover the lens of the goggles so they don't get scratched up, which, you know, that is a nice little feature, and that is still going on to this day. So looking at Mutt, I love the colors on him. He has this deep forest green, broken up by a little bit of red and caramel brown. He does have a knife here on the front of his chest. He has a badge right here. Red pads on his shoulders. Brown knee pads. Brown boots. And he has a holster on his right leg with a sculpted in, there it is, with a sculpted in pistol that is painted. He is wearing a glove on this hand. This helps him control Mutt, or control Junkyard a little bit better. And this is also a training glove. So when they're training, Junkyard could bite into this glove and not hurt Mutt's arm. Looking at his waist piece, he has a black belt. He's no longer wearing it because he just fell apart on me. 2 back pockets on there. Some sculpted on pouches, or 1 sculpted on pouch. And looking at his face, smiling guy or scowling, whichever one you want to call it. Black hair, mustache, black eyes, black eyebrows. He even painted his teeth. His head does swivel side to side because this is pre-1985, before they gave us the ball jointed neck. So flipping around to his back, it is relatively plain with that caramel color. And he came, I have his file card. You can see it is clipped right off the back, clipped right off of the card back. It reads K9 Officer and Attack Dog, codename Mutt and Junkyard. File name, let me get my reading glasses out here. I'm wearing my contact lenses today. I need bifocals, so contact lenses, I have to wear reading glasses. Isn't that funny? And I take my glasses off at work to type on and work on the computer. But anyway, file name, Perlmutter Stanley G, primary military specialty, K9 officer, secondary specialty, infantry, birthplace, Island, New Jersey, serial number 23155 SG91. He is an E6. He is a staff sergeant. Mutt is a natural with animals. He likes them, and they like him. The problem is that he gets along better with dogs than he does with humans. I have to agree. I do the same. He graduated Jungle Warfare Training School and was attached to a cadre of special ops school as an advisor to the security enforcement committee. He and his canine dog. See, that's canine dog. Canine means dog, so why they say canine dog? That, that's kind of a redundancy there. Junkyard have worked together so long that they no longer need to give each other audible or visual signals. It's almost as they function as an organism. He's a qualified expert in M16, M14, M19, M1911A1, and auto pistol and a Mac 11. That is what this is. It's a Mac 11. I take that back. That is not a Uzi. That is a Mac 11. And it says here in a quote, if you are sitting next to Mutt in the mess hall, don't try filching anything from his tray. He just might bite your leg off. His dog is much more polite. Okay, I wouldn't steal food off of anybody's tray anyway. So let's go ahead and move his parts out of the way. And let's take a look at the action pilot. Let's lift the camera up. Here we go. Action pilot. Has that nice little 1960s aesthetic artwork. G.I. Joe is done up in gold. 1964 to 1994. So that's the year it came out. This is a commemorative edition. It says real working parachute. Flip around here to the back. You got the action soldier, action sailor, action marine, and action pilot. The box that I was talking about came with a astronaut too, and his landing module. And it says in 1964, G.I. Joe was introduced in 1964 was introduced to the very first G.I. Joe. 30 years later, G.I. Joe continues to fill children with excitement and a sense of adventure and fun, which is all we at Hasbro ever wanted to do. Around the world, as a salute to G.I. Joe on the 30th anniversary, this may be a legend continue to bring endless hours of joy to the young and the young at heart for another 30 years, and I must agree. And that is a quote from Alan G. Hasenfeld, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Hasbro. I agree. These have brought me a lot of joy over the years and still have. He was worth 1 flag point. And he does have a little file card here. It says, when I finally flew my first solo flight at the age of 15, I knew instantly that I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. I never guessed I would be fortunate enough to be recruited to the G.I. Joe team. True, it had become one of the most decorative Air Force pilots to ever hit the sky, but to join up with fellow fighters like the Joes, it was the greatest honor I could ever possibly receive. Every time I step up into the cockpit and fire up those sweet-sounding engines, I take pride in knowing I'm an essential part of the most elite fighting force ever assembled. And his name is just Action Pilot. And it shows here how to put on his mask and his parachute and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and open up the box. I'm not going to waste your time by reading all of this. It's just a Action Pilot history. If you want to pause and read all of this, it is completely up to you. So here's how he came boxed. There's a keychain version of him as well. Just one last look at him being in the box. Let's go ahead and open him up. Okay. Was he already? It looks like he was opened up before and glued back into place. So let me pause this and get him opened up for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and open him up. I do remember my two older brothers having some of the Action Man vehicles, or at least one vehicle, and some of the action figures. I always thought it was weird that they had fuzzy hair, but they had the 6x6 vehicle, the 6x6 truck, which was cool. And I remember, this is a weird memory as I'm taking it off the sprue here. You can see that this part has broken off. My brothers Eric and George were in the driveway of a house that we were living in next to a bait shop by a dam that we lived near. And I remember people would fish off of that dam, and they were sitting in the driveway pushing that back and forth, just having fun. That's the only memory I have of that. And my brother, oldest brother, got stung on the lip. You remember that, George? Got stung on the lip. Found out he was allergic to bees. Good thing my dad was a medic. Got him to the hospital, and they gave him adrenaline shots and everything and saved him. That's how we've, ever since then, he had to carry a bee sting kit. I don't think he carries one now, though, but nonetheless, that scared me. I was really scared for him. His lip looked huge. Okay, so Action Pilot. Yellow flight suit. He is wearing his inflatable vest. This was called a Mae West vest for one purpose. When you inflate it, the chest gets really big, so they call it the Mae West. That wraps around to the back, which he is wearing his parachute harness as well, done up in that OD green. His hair is black eyes, black eyebrows. Oh, he has blue eyes. Look at that. Blue-eyed American boy. It says Air Vest USAF G.I. Joe. He has a tablet, which he could write on as he is flying. He has a pilot survival knife tucked into his boot there. He is wearing black combat boots with his flight suit tucked into, or bloused into, the boot. You do have that articulation of your standard G.I. Joe. His helmet is definitely 1960s helmet. If you could look back at old archive footage, they wore white helmets and they had a stripe right down the back of it. This one has a black visor and a black O2 mask. So you just pop that right on his face. There's no place to plug it into his chest, but that's okay. He looks good in it anyway. He came with a rifle. Why? I do not know. Pilots just usually carry a pistol. This has a hole here And here for a string or a cord where you can make a sling, it is a green pistol or a green rifle. This looks like it would be a maybe a 30-06 or an M1911 machine gun. He came with a pistol. This one was used from a lot of Joe's. This one looks like was Frostbite's pistol, done up in green. A lot of nice detail on there. His backpack came with this black rubber strap, which you just run right on through. To get it set up here. I remember getting my Sky Patrol. I only had one of those guys and trying to set up his parachute to do this. I loved parachutes as a kid. I don't know how many of you guys had parachute. Loved to play with those little parachutes, that little cheap plastic parachute that came with a soldier, had a round slot on his head where the strings of the parachute knotted up in there. That was hours of fun, man. Okay, so you got the strap locked in there, and I probably have it on. No, I don't have it on wrong. But if it hadn't broken, this would slide right in through here and hold the parachute into place, and you attach it to his back under his arms. I remember there was a Street Fighter action figure that came with the parachute as well, and I believe it goes up over his shoulder. Yes, up over his shoulder and through there, so it hooks on to his shoulder with these, and it stays on there pretty well with these little tabs. I'm not going to unravel the parachute, sorry guys, but the parachute itself unravels, and what you are supposed to do is tie it, is to run the strings through the hole here, and good luck trying to keep them even. So you run the strings through there and you fold it up and tuck it inside here, inside the backpack. And just what I would do, I would just leave it open like that, and I would chuck it up in the air, and of course this would open up and the parachute would pop out and he would just float safely to the ground. But yeah, I definitely just want to keep this the way it is. But otherwise, there you go, guys. All right, well, thank you very much for these suggestions. I'm sorry that Junkyard and Mutt fell apart. That was quite unfortunate, right in the middle of a review. But things happen. So instead of just stopping everything and digging around for an O-ring, I figured, hey, let's just leave that in as a blooper. And the pilot he ended up having a broken parachute. So this was a junked up Joe day. But thank you guys very much for these suggestions. These were excellent choices. I had fun with this one. I have fun with most of my reviews. I can't say that every one of them I really have fun with, but this one was fun. I want to thank my brother for his vote. It's nice that you participated in that one. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. He did write a book. George is a renowned author. He has written 3 books, one on security, which I had already did a review on when I reviewed Law and Order. He wrote a book called Emily and the Ghost of Mr. Mentor, and the other one has a very long and strange title. I would have to pull the book out to read it. It's Frankenstein, Imhotep, Dracula, and the Wolfman's Name all blended together. It is a seriously funny book. Van Fier is reading it right now. He has a sleep disorder to where he reads and falls asleep while reading, so it's taking us a while to read that. So as soon as we're done reading it, we will do a review of that book as promised. It is funny. It's a pretty good book. I enjoy it. It's about Frankenstein needing a soul in order to marry a witch that he is in love with. So I will just leave it at that, because Frankenstein was made of dead parts and dead people don't have souls. So anyway, we'll leave it at that, and I will bring this to a close. Thank you once again for tuning in, for staying with me all this time. Thank you very much for my 2 new subscribers. I hope you enjoyed the channel. Welcome to the Toy Dungeon, to the subscribers and to everybody who wants to stop by. My algorithm is showing that I have more people viewing than are subscribed, so please do me a big favor and hit that subscription button. That will really help this channel grow. I would love to get the silver play button. I need I think 100,000 subscribers, but I don't know if I'm old enough. Might be a little too old to get. By the time I get that, I might be well into my 70s. But I would love, that would be such a wonderful honor to have a silver play button. It's an award issued by YouTube. So anyway, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm. It spreads the news of my channel so I get more views. Also, leave me a comment. I do answer back. Might take a while sometimes. They don't pop up, but I have to go through and look for comments. So I usually comment within the first 24 hours. That's the best part of this whole show, is leaving you guys comments, getting to know you guys a lot better that way. And anyway, remember, be kind to yourselves, be kind to everybody else around you. You never know the day, what kind of day somebody's having. Little act of kindness goes a very, very long way. You hear on the news where somebody at McDonald's pays for a meal for the person behind behind them, and then that person covers that person's ticket, and so on and so forth. It happened out here where 15 people did that. 15. Just that little act of that one little act of kindness inspired 15 people to pay for somebody else's coffee. It was, during it was in the morning, so their coffee and their egg McMuffins or whatever it was. So they paid for everybody, somebody else paid for somebody else's meal. So that is fantastic. That's what I love to hear. And I've done it myself. So anyway, be kind to animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. They might not buy you a happy meal. They might not pay for your coffee, but they sure do love you. So anyway, you guys take care. We'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. We'll do another choose your own review. These things are so much fun. I should do more of them. So take care, guys. Stay safe. I mean it. I want to see you around for many, many years to come. I'll be doing this for a while until I get tired of it. So anyway, we'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. Until then, this is Joe Motion Videos 82 saying adios, sayonara, goodbye, au revoir, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Bye. Show's over.